How do we, as a society and individuals, determine identity?
What role does gender play in shaping our perceptions?
And how does representation define heroism?
To answer these questions and to evaluate Marvel's impact and reflection of society, we use Carl Jung's theory of active imagination.
It bridges the conscious and subconscious gap by combining the personal experience of the moviegoer with the psychological and material projection by the filmmakers for the purpose of analyzing screen text and the impact on culture.
Marvel Comics began in 1939, assumed its current incarnation thanks to writers like Stan Lee, and successfully launched the MCU in 2008 with Iron Man.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe explores identity, gender, and heroism with an affirming and troublesome impact on American society, seen in evolving individual hero identities,
Challenged by difficulties in gender representation,
and allowed complexity in the reflection of heroes with distinct backgrounds and values.
Positive representations of identity in the Marvel Cinematic Universe include Captain America, Mystique, and Iron Man. Captain America was created as a way of showing the American consciousness during World War II and how Americans viewed the growing patriotic feeling. According to Dr. Jason Dittmer, his characterization as an explicitly American superhero establishes him as both a representative of the idealized American nation and as a defender of the American status quo. Steve struggles with his identity as an American icon as he defines his role in World War II and later as he discovers Hydra's infiltration of S.H.I.E.L.D. His core values of liberty, equality, and self-determination, along with his steady nature, makes Captain America a positive role model.
a blue, shape-shifting mutant, Mystique's struggle to accept her identity is an allegory for minority groups struggling to find pride in their identity. In an interview with Collider, Bryan Singer discusses projecting his experience as an LGBT individual in making X-Men. This is reflected in Mystique, who opts to pass as normal, taking on the form of a white, blonde, attractive girl, even among other mutants. Through X-Men First Class, Mystique learns to love herself and be proud of her mutation.
Mystique and Captain America, Tony Stark is a positive representation of individual identity. Tony is the son of the legendary Howard Stark and a genius. A man of extreme privilege, Tony struggles with his identity in the MCU. After discovering that his weapons were in the hands of terrorists, Tony asserts his independence by breaking with Stark Industries' weapons business and focusing on beneficial programs. Tony chooses his legacy through the films, reflecting the rewards of making the hard decisions to do the right thing.
I know I'm asking a lot. The price of freedom is high. It always has been. And it's a price I'm willing to pay.
While Marvel has a positive impact on society with the exploration of identity, the subject of gender is more mixed, as seen in The Girlfriends, The Female Avengers, and Jessica Jones. Marvel has shown that women can be just as powerful as their male counterparts, yet according to Jen Yamato of the Daily Beast, by the time Captain Marvel is made, 20 other male superhero films will have preceded the first female-led film. Although there is a variety of distinct female characters, it can be argued that most of these women are there only to aid male superheroes.
For example, several female characters are portrayed by award-winning Hollywood talent, but are relegated to girlfriend status. In the comics, Pepper, Hope, and Vanessa are superheroes in their own right. However, the films to date place them in supporting roles. This screen text could be read as reflective of the struggles that women have in earning workplace respect and equality.
Black Widow and Scarlet Witch, at least, are part of the Avengers Initiative and fight alongside the male superheroes. However, neither character has a solo film. Black Widow appears in 5 MCU films, supporting Captain America, Hulk, and Iron Man. In her second film appearance, Scarlet Witch is placed under house arrest in fear of her power. These characters are the epitome of the mixed representation of female superheroes.
Headed in the right direction is the digital properties Jessica Jones, created by Melissa Rosenberg. The television show subverts troublesome tropes and tackles volatile issues to move in a positive direction for Marvel's track record with gender. Jessica Jones takes a hard look at the aftermath of rape and sexual assault, and celebrates the strength of the victim reclaiming her power.
Let go of me, Jessica!
The fundamentals of a hero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe are found in the voluntary assumption of the responsibility that accompanies power. Steve Rogers, Wade Wilson, and Tony Stark are affirming embodiments of heroism.
Steve begins as the perfect soldier, willing to undergo great pain and possible death in order to serve his country. As Captain America, he is ultimately defensive in nature, only using a shield, his strength, and his leadership ability to fight the forces of evil. Through the films, he makes choices based on individual loyalty and belief in his values.
On a different spectrum from wholesome Steve Rogers, pansexual Wade Wilson exemplifies a different kind of heroism. He's a mercenary who gleefully torments guys who are worse than himself. As a positive reflection of heroism, Wade makes choices for love. Love prompts him to face his fears rather than hide behind a mask.
Love plays its part in Tony's character arc, making Iron Man a positive impact on the definition of heroism. According to T.M. Yates, Pepper continually saves Stark's skin, thus undermining his chauvinistic quirks. Tony's growth from playboy genius to leader of the Avengers is an affirming reflection that choices make the hero. Tony's struggles with his trauma experiences inform his choices, much like Jessica Jones, and provide positive impact on society's definition of heroism.
Views.
One might argue that fate informs identity, rather than free will. Why they're wrong. The evolution of the heroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is tracked through the choices each hero makes and how those changes inform their identity.
One might argue that limiting the female heroes to support roles negates the positive representation seen in Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, and Jessica Jones. Why they're wrong? The MCU is evolving, and a recognition of mistakes and harmful tropes is vital to the progress the MCU is making in gender representation.
One might argue that the deeds, rather than the intent, is what makes heroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Why they're wrong.
Textual analysis through active imagination and visual symbols demonstrates the cultural impact of Marvel Studios' films on American society.
Through life experiences and choices, Captain America, Mystique, and Iron Man demonstrate that long-held preconceptions of individual identity can change markedly.
While there is currently a lack of female leads in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the growing representations seen in Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, and Jessica Jones indicate a positive direction.
And the evolution of diverse heroes with differing backgrounds and circumstances, embodied in Captain America, Deadpool, and Iron Man, provide affirming blueprints of heroism. Growing up Marvel means tapping into a rich well of powerful representations of identity, gender, and heroism.
Together.